Welcome to the 2024 Healing Series, where I'm going to dissect the many complex levels of healing. And if you're on a healing journey, no matter what you're healing from, please share any lessons you've learned in the comments. I met this girl many years ago at work, and she was telling me about her childhood and how she had the best time, the best parents, the best friends, like people who were so supportive. They were fun. They were always there for her. They were positive. And I thought she was lying. I didn't know that that was a reality. I was like, are you serious? I was like, my friends were sneaky, conniving, deceptive, and not every single one, obviously, but I would say for the most part that I really didn't enjoy my friendships. I didn't trust these individuals. I would never in a million years tell them anything private, any secrets. I haven't in my whole entire life shared anything with anyone that I felt could possibly get out to the public or that could damage my image or anything like that. Never, ever, ever, never even written it in a journal. Nobody will have that information. And I discovered that there are actual people out there who tell their friends secrets. I'm like, wait, they know everything about you? How is that possible? How do you trust these individuals? And I realized that this person that I was speaking with was really good friends with herself. And this allowed her to have a basis for attracting individuals who felt about her the way that she felt about herself. Today, we're going to dissect being friends with yourself before others. So what does it mean to be friends with yourself? A lot of individuals do not even understand this concept. We've never been taught this as a child, to be good to ourselves, to sit in the mirror and understand ourselves, to spend quality time with ourselves. Particularly women, little girls were taught to take care of other people. We're taught to cater to others, to give to others. Never do I see a conversation about giving to yourself, spending quality time with yourself, understanding what you like, respecting yourself, building esteem for yourself. This is something that is lacking, particularly right now in this climate. Becoming friends with yourself first is so important. You set the groundwork for how others treat you, for how others speak to you, what their energy is going to be towards you. You set out the GPS for them. You set out the map for them. You give them guidance, because people don't know. They don't automatically know what you like, what you dislike. None of us are mind readers. People aren't supposed to just get you. You're supposed to teach them and train them how to treat you. And this is something that I learned through that conversation of speaking with this young lady, because I had never conceived that that was possible, that you can grow up and have all these amazing people around you who were loyal, who would never, no matter what happened, tell your business or try and attack you publicly or use things against you. I didn't think that was possible. And speaking with individuals who actually like themselves, who actually grew up with self-love and parents who instilled that immensely, it is possible. So I talk about this in all of my books, Rise from the Ashes, but particularly in my book, Nobody Can Hurt Me, A Scorpio's Guide to Healing with Affirmations. I talk about having that conversation with yourself and rebuilding a relationship with you. Many of you guys do not know who you are, but you expect someone else to. You meet someone else and you're like, oh my gosh, they treat me so kind. Like, you don't do it. You don't do it. None of you guys are taking yourselves out to expensive dinners every weekend. You're not buying yourself flowers. You're not telling yourself, I love you. You're so amazing. You're not doing this. But when you meet someone else, you expect all these things. Yet they don't have a GPS. They don't have a roadmap. The only map that they have is watching you treat yourself in a certain way. And if you are downplaying yourself, you are disrespecting yourself. I heard someone in an interview call themselves an idiot, call themselves stupid. And they were doing it as a joke. They were self-deprecating, but what you do as a joke becomes a habit. After the word I am, whatever you say after that is very powerful. And you must choose your words wisely. Now, if that person who they were speaking to had called them stupid and an idiot, they would be very upset. They would be very upset. So building a friendship with yourself requires you to start from square one. Do you remember when you were in kindergarten and it was your first day, maybe your first day even out being with other people besides your family? I didn't go to preschool. I had a stay-at-home mom. I'm the youngest of 6. And so kindergarten was my first experience with other people besides my family. I didn't have play dates or any of that stuff. None of that was allowed in my family. So kindergarten was like, whoa, it was so overwhelming. There were so many people. I was like, I don't want to be around these people. I don't know them. When you start to make friends, the first thing they say is like, what's your name? What's your favorite color? Like that you learn about people. What's your favorite food? Where you're from? Where your parents from? Do you have siblings? What kind of music do you like? Like all this stuff is basic. And a lot of you guys don't even have the answer to this yourself. You don't even know what your favorite color is. Do you have a favorite food? Do you even have a favorite genre of music? Have you even listened to that extensive of a variety of music to know that you have a favorite? Some of you haven't even done that. You grew up listening maybe to pop and that's all you know. Have you even tried classical? Have you tried jazz? Have you listened to alternative? What about country? What about other forms of music? What about Tibetan music? What about Reiki? Like, do you even know this stuff about yourself? And you may meet someone who introduces you to these things and you're like, wow, I didn't even know that about myself. So getting to know yourself is important. And this requires time alone, taking yourself out, doing things that you wouldn't ordinarily do. I started ice skating many, many years ago and taking ballet classes, taking jazz classes, things that I wouldn't ordinarily do. And I discovered things that I liked, things that I didn't like, going to new restaurants, trying different foods, maybe listening to music from different cultures and saying, oh my gosh, I discovered that I love some rock music and some metal music. And I didn't grow up knowing any of that genre. That is not prevalent in the Black community. Some of my Black friends did, but they got made fun of and things like that. And I would be at home secretly listening to different channels. And I loved it. Like, I don't know how I missed the whole Jimi Hendrix era. Like, how did I, like, the most amazing music ever. And then I started going and looking at different rock bands, metal bands, and was just blown away. And this is something that was in my friendship with myself journey, figuring out things that I like. Now, this is really important because many of you are wishing on a star that you had a best friend. You use the word soulmate and twin flames, and all that just means you want somebody who treats you well, who understands you, who probably coddles you sometimes because you need that big hug your parents never gave you. And you're looking for that support. But when you get in the mirror and realize you don't even give that to yourself, there's no way that other people can follow and have that guide to know that's what you need. So the young lady that I met who had this amazing childhood, I noticed that she treated herself incredible. She dressed incredible and she traveled all the time. She bought herself nice things. She was spiritual. She meditated. She wasn't hard on herself. You know, she'd be like, oh, I messed up. Okay, that's okay. Let's start again. You know, I just watched her. And I remember one day, it was payday. And I was like, oh, go buy yourself something nice. She was like, honey, I always buy myself something nice. So for her, it was just a lifestyle. It was amazing. And the people she surrounded herself around, the people she attracted, treated her like that too. They always bought her flowers. They took her to nice places because this is something she was accustomed to, honey. They felt the energy like, oh wow, she always gets nice things. She treats herself kindly. She speaks to herself like this. So this is my GPS. I speak to her in the way that she speaks to herself. I buy her things in accordance to what she buys herself. This is what I see when it comes to women who are looking for partners. They want all this stuff. I want him to spoil me, and meanwhile they have raggedy shoes on. They would never take themselves out for $100 lunch. They would never buy themselves $300 shoes. The bag that they have is like the cheapest of quality. They do not treat themselves well. They're out of shape. They smoke. And I'm like, you're waiting for somebody to come in and swoop down from the sky and treat you in opposition of how you deal with yourself. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Becoming friends with yourself is going to take some time because you have certain beliefs and you've already created boundaries and defense mechanisms and coping mechanisms. You have subconscious beliefs about who you are based on someone else's rules and regulations. So it's time to break that barrier and step outside of the box. I want you guys today to do something that you haven't done. Some of you are accustomed to just being around people. These aren't your friends. You're just around them. You're just surrounded around people. And I know what that's like. I've had people around me my whole teens and 20s, and they were not friends. I didn't even trust these individuals, but we went out and partied all the time. I want you guys to do something else that you would not ordinarily do, that your brain is not trained to do. Go to a rock concert. Go to a restaurant that is of a culture that you've never experienced. Go somewhere by yourself if you're not used to it. Go to the cinema by yourself. Go to Broadway. Go to a ballet. Take yourself to a museum. And actually enjoy your own company. See if you like being by yourself. Notice if you're quick to start talking to somebody else. Notice if you're quick to call someone and be like, you want to go with me? Like you just can't stand your own company. And this amazes me too. People who don't want to be by themselves and really enjoy themselves. I'm not talking about being curled up in the bed, depressed, like really enjoy your company. And they need other people to be around because they're so afraid that they're not going to like what they see. But I'm going to tell you this, if you don't like what you see, you can change it. If you don't like your attitude towards yourself and you think, my goodness, if I was somebody else, I would not want to hang out with me. I mean, I think about my youth and I think, how did people hang out with me? Like if I met my younger self, if we were separate individuals, I would have never wanted to hang out with her. I'd have been like, nope, not hanging out with you. You are too gloomy, honey. You are too complainy. You're not laughing. You're not having a good time. Nope. Bye. Go hang out with yourself, honey. And that's how I feel about a great portion of my childhood. And so if you look at yourself and you're not even having a good time, imagine what other people feel. Imagine. And I know you're not taught to like yourself and be friends with yourself and to big yourself up in this society. Self-deprecation is rewarded. It's supposed to be endearing and, oh, she's so cute. She makes fun of herself. But I don't make fun of myself. One foot in front of the other, built a friendship with myself. I like who I am. I'm still discovering new amazing things. And now in my adulthood, I'm like, people are so lucky to be hanging out with me. I want to be my best friend in the whole entire world. And I am. I'll see you guys in part 5 of the 2024 healing series.